Today's story is about strange experiments done on humans in a military base. Some teenagers think the place is haunted, so they sneak in out of curiosity. Inside, they find a mysterious black powder. When they apply it, their bodies turn black and they vanish instantly. But where do they go? What happens to them? The series begins in 1994. Four friends from Brooklyn, 2 boys and 2 girls, decide to explore an abandoned military base. Maddie leads the group, and one of the girls is recording everything on camera. Maddie tries to spook them by saying that human experiments once took place there, and many people died. Some even say their souls still wander around. Suddenly, they hear a loud noise and notice someone following them. It turns out to be Maddie's younger brother, Anthony. Maddie scolds him for tagging along and sends him away. But once Maddie goes back to his friends, a strange machine activates. There's an explosion, and the whole place fills with smoke. The kids start coughing, and black liquid begins to drip from Maddie's eyes. His body slowly melts, and he dies right there. The story then jumps 30 years forward to 2024. We meet a young boy and girl who are visiting their father for the holidays. Their dad is none other than Anthony, the same Anthony who had followed his brother to the base 30 years earlier. Anthony is now divorced, and his kids, Cece and Devin, are staying with him. At home, Anthony warns them never to go into the basement. Curious, the kids ask if he's hiding something there, but he explains that he's a botany teacher and keeps special plants in the basement. He doesn't want them damaged, so the kids agree to stay away. Later, Anthony takes them to a restaurant. On the way back, they run into Jenny, a woman who used to be Maddie's girlfriend. She is now a police detective. Jenny hands Anthony a dress that belonged to Maddie, saying it had been sitting in the department for 30 years. Anthony is heartbroken and upset that it took so long for it to be returned. He takes the dress home, and the story continues from there. Cece and Devin go to meet some of their friends. Devin even has a girlfriend named Frankie, but now Frankie is more interested in another boy named Trey. And Trey, friends, is the same guy who always parks his car in Anthony's parking space. Devin, however, is desperate to win Frankie back. To impress her, he says, "You know, I had an uncle named Matty. He was killed 30 years ago in a mysterious place. I can take you there, curious." Everyone agrees to go. When they reach the spot, Trey challenges Devin. "If you're so brave, go inside alone. We'll wait here." Wanting to show off, Devin goes in by himself like a hero. Inside, he reaches near an old power line. Just like in 1994, the power is still active. Suddenly, a hidden door opens in the ground. To his horror, Devin sees someone inside. It's Maddie with black liquid oozing from his eyes. Black smoke fills the air, and when Devin breathes it in, the same black liquid seeps from his own eyes. Somehow, he manages to escape. Terrified, the group runs back home, but none of them tell Anthony what happened. Meanwhile, Anthony is studying Maddie's old shirt in the basement. He notices plant-like marks on it. Using a microscope, he realizes these plants grow unusually fast and even interact with other plants. Anthony is shocked. On the other hand, Devin looks through some old photos and finds a childhood picture of Maddie. He suddenly realizes the man he saw in the base was Maddie himself. Devin rushes to tell Anthony, but at that moment, something horrifying happens. A giant plant in the basement attacks Anthony, as if it's a monster, not a normal plant. Devin hears the terrifying sounds, panics, and runs outside. But before he can escape, the plants rush out of the basement through a sinkhole. They grab Devin, wrapping around him and even trying to enter his mouth. Somehow, Devin fights back, hitting them with whatever he can. Finally, the plants retreat, and he manages to escape. But Anthony is badly injured during the attack. His hand is wounded. Later, while resting, he notices worms crawling out of the wound. When he removes the bandage, he sees roots growing under his skin. Shocked, he cuts into it and finds something like a bud sprouting inside. He realizes this is no ordinary plant. It's some advanced botanical creature. To confirm his fear, Anthony brings home a rat. His idea is simple. If the plant eats the rat, it means the thing is not a normal plant, but a carnivorous monster. When Anthony comes home, he again finds Trey's car parked in his spot. Usually, Anthony just scolds him, but today he loses control. In anger, he smashes Trey's car window. Later, Anthony returns to his lab. He places the strange bud near a rat, and to his horror, the bud swallows the rat instantly. This proves that the plant is a dangerous creature. Shocked, Anthony locks it away inside a freezer. Meanwhile, Trey is furious about his car. To take revenge, he sneaks into Anthony's basement at night. Frankie comes with him but begs him not to do this. Trey ignores her and destroys Anthony's years of research. He even takes photos so Anthony will know who is responsible. Just then, Trey hears a noise from the freezer. Curious, he opens it, and the plant creature attacks him. When Trey doesn't return, Frankie goes inside to check. She finds his phone on the ground. Suddenly, Trey appears, but he's no longer the same. He looks twisted, almost possessed by the creature. He drags Frankie to a car shed and pulls out a sharp tool, signaling her to cut something out of his body. He is in extreme pain. At that moment, Devin arrives. He tells Frankie to run while he tries to fight Trey. But Trey, now half monster, overpowers him and tries to kill him. Just then, Frankie pushes a car from the ramp. It crashes down on Trey. His body melts into black liquid. But friends, the horror isn't over. The black liquid is still alive. It seeps into the car nearby. Suddenly, the headlights turn on and the engine roars to life. The liquid can take control of anything it enters. It lives through its host. Now Trey has vanished. His disappearance draws the attention of Jenny, the detective, and also Maddie's old girlfriend. Jenny arrives to investigate. She has a daughter named Alex. Years ago, Alex was blamed for a fire that another boy caused with firecrackers. Her mother saved her because she was a detective, but Alex is still angry about being blamed for something she didn't do. Meanwhile, Anthony discovers his basement lab in ruins. The dangerous plant creature is also missing. He questions his children, but they deny knowing anything. Still, both CC and Devin know Trey disappeared because of Anthony's plants. Later, when Anthony is alone, his children secretly sneak into the basement to investigate, but suddenly Anthony returns. They notice strange roots growing in his injured hand. When he cuts them open, black liquid oozes out. Carefully, he stores it in a container, recording all his findings on his laptop. The children overhear everything and realize that their father is somehow connected to this terrifying creature. The next day, Alex finds Trey's car on the road. She doesn't know that the same black liquid is inside it. Excited, she starts driving it happily. On the way, she spots CC and decides to give her a lift. But soon the car goes out of control. It speeds up on its own and crashes into a pillar. In that moment, something invisible, like air, escapes from the car and slips into CC's cup. Without realizing it, CC is now carrying the black liquid inside her cup. Annoyed at Alex's reckless driving, CC scolds her. If you don't know how to drive, then why do you even try? She takes the cup with her and leaves. Strangely, the wrecked car repairs itself, then speeds toward the sea and plunges straight into the water. Just in time, Alex manages to escape from the trunk. The car sinks, and the black liquid begins moving back toward the military base where it first appeared. Meanwhile, Anthony also arrives at the same base, haunted by memories of what happened 30 years ago, when his brother Maddie and his friends went inside and never came back. Anthony is there searching for Trey, and surprisingly, he finds him. Trey is in a dazed state, as if he has no memory of what happened. Anthony takes him along and informs Jenny, the detective. Together, they admit Trey into the hospital, but Trey is acting strangely, sitting lifelessly, almost like he's hollow inside. Anthony brings the black liquid in a container to test if it reacts with Trey, but nothing happens. Later, as the doctor treating Trey leaves in her car, the black liquid suddenly points toward that car, as if signaling that she has some hidden connection to it. Meanwhile, CC is completely unaware that her cup is infected. A powdery substance from the black liquid is inside. She pours a drink into it and drinks without suspicion. Soon after, she goes to a meeting, but strange things happen. Black liquid starts dripping from her nose, and she hears disturbing voices in her head. Terrified, she rushes home, coughs violently, and manages to spit out the liquid. She immediately tells Devin about it, because the same thing had once happened to him too. Devin and Frankie rush home to check on her, but the black mucus CC spat out doesn't just disappear. It grows inside the sink, then bursts out, attacking CC. She shocks it with electricity, and it shrinks back, showing it can't tolerate electric shocks. But instead of dying, it grows even larger and surrounds the elevator CC is trapped in. Just in time, Devin and Frankie arrive and pull CC out. The three of them run for their lives as the black liquid monster chases after them. The three friends, CC, Devin, and Frankie, rush to a subway station and board a train, hoping to escape. But the black liquid isn't done yet. It surrounds the train too. It feels as though it's specifically chasing CC. Terrified, CC jumps off the train and starts running. The liquid follows close behind, refusing to let her go. Thinking quickly, CC comes up with a plan. She runs onto the railway tracks, knowing they carry high voltage current. Her idea is simple. If the liquid follows her, it will get electrocuted. And just as she planned, the black liquid touches the track, and a massive current surges through it. The creature bursts apart, exploding violently, and is destroyed completely. Relieved, the three friends decide they need answers. If they want to understand this strange black liquid, they must return to the place where it all began, the military base. When they get there, They're shocked to see Anthony wandering inside, wearing a full protective nuclear suit. They don't understand what their father is doing there. In the next scene, Anthony is back home. A boy named CJ, who is a friend of CC and Devin, comes to deliver soup. He casually asks, "Uncle, where are CC and Devin these days? Haven't seen them." As Anthony takes the soup, he suddenly sneezes, and horrifyingly, one of his eyes pops out and falls to the ground. CJ is terrified, but Anthony calmly picks up the eye and places it back, as if nothing happened. Friends, this is what happens when someone is infected by the black liquid. Anthony can't understand how it got to him. After all, he had been wearing a protective suit at the base. But when he inspects his suit, he realizes there was a hole in it. The day before, while starting a machine, he had put his hand between live wires, and through that hole, the black powder must have entered his body. Now Anthony is slowly losing control. The black liquid inside him is taking over, and soon he will no longer be himself. He will become a dangerous monster. Meanwhile, CJ, still shaken, tells his sister what he saw, but she scolds him, thinking he's just daydreaming. Do you think things like this even happen? Stop imagining nonsense. At least tell me, did you collect the money for the soup delivery? CJ says nothing, but inside he isn't sure if what he saw was real or not. Determined, he goes back to Anthony's house. At first, Anthony behaves normally, but suddenly he snaps. His voice changes, his eyes burn, and he grabs CJ. Dragging him into the basement, Anthony, now partly transformed into a monster, opens his mouth. Black liquid oozes out. If this liquid enters CJ's mouth, he too will be consumed and turned into a monster. The true goal of the black liquid is now clear. It wants to turn as many people as possible into monsters. Meanwhile, Anthony hears footsteps outside. When he goes out, he finds Jenny there. She shows him some old videotapes and says, "These are recordings from 30 years ago, shot when Maddie went into the military base. I thought they might help you." Anthony takes the tapes. But friends, this Anthony is no longer human. If he were still himself, he would have eagerly played those tapes. Instead, as a monster under the liquid's control, he has no interest in them. His only focus is on turning CJ into a monster too. He tries to force black liquid into CJ's mouth. CJ fights back and even breaks Anthony's hand, but the monster feels no pain. Laughing, he says, "You break very well. Soon you'll become a monster too. Then we'll keep breaking each other's hands again and again." Just as Anthony forces the black liquid towards CJ, Devin arrives and strikes Anthony's head with full force. The impact is so strong that Anthony's head separates from his body, but horrifyingly, even without a body, he keeps talking. "Kids, you've also come. You too can become monsters like me." The children realize with heavy hearts that this is no longer their father. It is only the monster speaking through him. They quickly grab Jenny's tape, rescue CJ, and escape. Later, a doctor arrives quietly, places Anthony's severed head into a bag, and leaves without a word. Meanwhile, CC, Devin, and their friends play the old tape Jenny gave them. On it, they see footage from 30 years ago when Maddie and his friends went into the base. You might remember one of the girls back then was recording everything on camera. This is her tape. The video shows a gas leak inside the base. Black smoke spreads everywhere. Suddenly, a mysterious woman in a fully covered suit appears and tries to snatch their camera. But Anthony and Jenny arrive at that moment. Remember, Maddie had left Anthony outside. Angry, Anthony had run to Jenny saying, "My brother left me behind and went inside with his friends." Hearing their voices, the suited woman leaves. Soon after, Anthony and Jenny called the police to report that Maddie and his friends had vanished. Since then, Jenny has carried this case in her heart, and it's the very reason she grew up to become a detective. But one mystery remains. Who was that woman in the suit? Back in the present, the kids check the CCTV camera at their house. What they see shocks them. The same doctor who had taken Anthony's head is also the woman in the 30-year-old video. She was the one in the suit all along. But why did she take Anthony? And why is she doing all this? The kids are left confused with more questions than answers. Meanwhile, the doctor begins heating Anthony's hands and feet. Slowly, the black liquid inside him starts to melt away. In that moment, Anthony regains consciousness and asks weakly, "Are you going to kill me?" The doctor calmly replies, "No, I am going to preserve you. If this liquid spreads into the world, it will be the end of humanity. That's why I want to suppress it forever. But your family keeps releasing it. 30 years ago, your brother Maddie released it. I preserved him too." Saying this, she seals Anthony inside a chamber filled with the same black liquid, trapping him there. On the other hand, CC, Devin, and their friends are determined to find the doctor, believing she has taken Anthony. Their search leads them to the hospital, where they check the CCTV footage. From there, they trace her car and discover her address, a large warehouse. When they sneak inside, they find it's actually a massive laboratory where the doctor is conducting secret research. In a trash bin, Cece notices Antony's torn clothing. Soon after, she also discovers a diary. Inside, the diary reveals the true origin of the black liquid. The story flashes back to 1969. A man and several children visit the same military base. Suddenly, a strange meteor-like object crashes down from the sky. But it isn't a meteor, it's something else. Out of it comes a black organism that immediately captures the man. Terrified, the children run away. Later, a research team arrives to investigate this mysterious object. Among them is a young woman named Ramona, the very same doctor they now know. She is there with her father and other scientists. Through their studies, the researchers discover that the strange object is not a meteor at all. It's an alien spaceship, and the being inside is not hostile. In fact, it allows them to study it freely, almost as if it trusts them. But during their experiments, the team makes a chilling discovery. The alien has the power to turn living creatures into liquid. Alarmed, they decide to create a vaccine. When injected, this vaccine causes the black liquid to dissolve, effectively killing the alien. Ramona, however, disagrees. She argues with her father, "Instead of destroying this alien, we can work with it. Imagine the progress humanity could make using its knowledge and power." But her father refuses, saying, "It's like a virus. It's too dangerous. Killing it is the only way to protect us." Ignoring her pleas, he injects the alien with the vaccine. Slowly, the alien begins to die. The team celebrates, believing their mission is a success, but they underestimate the creature. Feeling betrayed, the alien loses all faith in humanity. Before dying, it releases the man it had captured earlier, and through him, disables the vaccine completely. The alien, now fully revived, turns against the researchers to take revenge. Ramona, her father, and the others run for their lives in protective suits. Ramona manages to escape, but her father's helmet has a hole in it. Realizing he can't survive, he locks the door behind her to protect his daughter and sacrifices himself. Back in the present, Cece, Devin, and their friends finally understand the truth of what happened decades ago. Just then, Ramona arrives and demands, "What are you all doing here?" Cece pleads with her, "Please save my father. I know you have the antidote for this black liquid." Looking at Cece, Ramona is reminded of herself at that age, the day she lost her own father. Her heart softens. She agrees and says, "Okay, I'll save your father." In the underground chambers of the military base, everyone infected by the black liquid is preserved inside pods made of the same black substance. Antony is one of them. Ramona gives Cece a vial of the antidote. Cece hurries to Antony's chamber and injects the serum. Slowly, Antony returns to normal, but when he opens his eyes, sorrow fills him. Because alongside him in other pods, Maddie and his friends are also preserved. Still the same children they were 30 years ago, frozen in time and never age. Seeing Maddie breaks Antony's heart, the group decides that just like in 1969, when the scientists attempted to destroy the alien with a vaccine, they must try again. But time is running out. The alien stirs and the doors to the underground lab begin to close. Cece and Devin shout, "Dad, hurry!" At the very last moment, Antony climbs up to safety, carrying Maddie with him. Maddie, still a boy, is stunned. "Antony, my little brother, how have you grown so old?" Antony explains, and they embrace, overjoyed to finally be reunited. Jenny also arrives and is shocked to see Maddie still alive and unchanged. She can't believe her eyes. The children explain the whole truth, that Maddie has been trapped in the chamber all these years, frozen in time. Both Antony and Maddie were cured by Ramona's serum, but there's one more person in the chambers, Ramona's father, who has been trapped for 55 years. Because of the long exposure, the serum must be slightly altered. Ramona makes the changes and injects it into her father's pod. He comes back to life, but instead of joy, his words chill everyone. He says, "You made a mistake saving me, daughter. Living in that chamber for so long, I've become part of the alien. I'm no longer human." Suddenly, he convulses, vomits, and transforms into a horrifying alien creature. Terrified, everyone screams and runs as the nightmare begins again. The people trapped in the chambers begin turning into aliens and attack. Antony uses the serum to defeat them and heads deeper into the base, where he gains control of the systems. This calms the main alien, who reveals its true purpose. It came to Earth only to study humans. At first, it trusted them, but when humans tried to destroy it, it fought back. Now, having gathered enough samples, the alien decides to leave Earth, taking all the humans it controlled from 1969 to 2024 aboard its spaceship. Maddie also chooses to go, telling Antony, "Earth is no longer my world. I belong with the alien." With the alien's departure, humanity is safe again, but the story doesn't end there. The alien had evolved in many forms: powder, liquid, plant, human, before returning to its true form. And just when it seems Earth is free, Trey returns home, and black liquid seeps from his mouth. The alien never fully left. Maybe it planted something inside Trey, a seed for the next stage of evolution. What happens next is left to you, the audience, to imagine. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.